The smell hits me first. Rosemary and thyme, expensive wine breathing on the sideboard, the kind of Thanksgiving spread that costs more than most people's mortgage payment. All of it paid for by me, naturally. I stand in the doorway of my parents' Naperville dining room, watching my father carve the turkey with the precision of a surgeon, and I feel nothing but the familiar weight of obligation pressing down on my shoulders. Quinn, darling, come sit. My mother waves a manicured hand toward the empty chair. Darlene Porter, 56 years old and still pretending we're the kind of family that appears in holiday catalogs. I take my seat. The china is Wedgwood, inherited from my grandmother. The silver gleams under the chandelier. Everything perfect, everything hollow. Savannah bounces into the room wearing something that makes me blink twice. A crop top and mini skirt, but the fabric stops my breath in my throat. Vintage Chantilly lace, the intricate floral pattern unmistakable even from across the table. My grandmother's wedding dress. The lace that survived a journey from Cork to Ellis Island in 1952. The dress my grandmother wore when she married my grandfather in a small Chicago chapel. The dress that was supposed to be mine, locked safely in the cedar chest in my old bedroom upstairs. Savannah. My voice comes out flat. What are you wearing? She twirls, 24 years old and completely oblivious. You like it? I had it made custom. Found this amazing vintage lace just rotting away upstairs. Rotting. I repeat the word carefully. The chest was locked, but honestly, Quinn, it was just sitting there. She waves her hand dismissively, and that's when I see it. The diamond on her finger, catching the light like a tiny star. Besides, I needed something special for tonight. Jax and I have an announcement. My phone vibrates against the table. I glance down. Notification. $3,800 charge. Cartier. Authorized user. Savannah. The room tilts slightly. I grip the edge of the table, feeling the smooth wood under my fingers, grounding myself in something solid while my world fractures. We're engaged. Savannah squeals, thrusting her hand toward my father. Elias Porter leans back in his chair, grinning like he's just closed $1 million deal instead of watching his youngest daughter flash stolen jewelry. Congratulations, sweetheart. He raises his wine glass. My wine, from my account at the downtown liquor store. Jax, welcome to the family. Jax, the amateur DJ with the carefully styled hair and the smile of someone who's just won the lottery, nods. Thank you, sir. I promise to take good care of her. I should say something. Smooth it over. Smile and congratulate them and pretend I don't notice that my grandmother's dress has been hacked into clubwear, that my credit card just funded an engagement ring I wasn't consulted about, that I'm sitting here like an ATM with a pulse. But then my father looks at me, really looks at me, and says, "Don't be jealous, Quinn. Be happy for your sister." Jealous. The word detonates something inside my chest. 6 months ago flashes through my mind. The ER after my appendectomy, lying on a gurney in a paper gown, alone. Calling my mother because I was scared and in pain and needed someone, hearing party music in the background. Her irritated voice, "Quinn, your card declined at Nordstrom. Can you fix it? I'm in the middle of lunch." Not, "Are you okay?" Not, "Do you need me?" Just, "Fix the card." I look at my sister in the ruins of my inheritance. I look at my father, expecting him to correct this, to acknowledge the line that's been crossed. He's already turning back to his turkey, dismissing me with his silence. The switch flips. I don't scream. I don't throw anything. I simply stand, my chair scraping against the hardwood floor, with a sound like a judgment being passed. Jax. I speak directly to him, my voice level. Clinical. That's a beautiful ring. 3.8 carats, I'd guess. Excellent clarity. I pick up my phone, turning the screen toward him. My Amex just flagged it as fraud. Savannah's mouth opens. You're being dramatic. Am I? I grab my coat from the back of my chair. Black wool, tailored, expensive. The kind of coat you buy when you stop waiting for approval and start buying your own armor. Enjoy your dinner. I'm sure the pie will be delicious. My mother's voice follows me to the door. Quinn Alexandra Porter, you sit back down this instant. But I'm already walking, already leaving, already done. In my car, I sit in the driveway with the engine running, my hands shaking on the steering wheel. The house glows behind me, warm and golden through the windows. Picture perfect. A lie wrapped in expensive wrapping paper. I don't cry. I open my banking app instead and start making a list. Every recurring payment, every authorized user, every single thread connecting me to that house and the people inside it. My phone buzzes. A text from Savannah. What the fuck is your problem? You're ruining everything. I delete it without responding. Then I open my credit card app and hover my finger over the freeze card button. One tap. That's all it takes. I press it. Then I put the car in drive and head back to Chicago, back to my silent apartment where nobody asks me for anything, where the only person I'm responsible for is myself. The heating oil gauge in their house reads 5%. I checked it yesterday when I was dropping off groceries. They have no idea how to refill it. Their credit cards are maxed. Winter is coming. And for the first time in my life, I'm not going to be the one keeping them warm. The drive back to Chicago feels shorter than it should. My apartment building rises out of the loop like a fortress, all steel and glass and blessed anonymity. Nobody here knows my family. Nobody here wants anything from me except the rent, which I pay on time every month without being asked. I park in the underground garage and take the elevator to the 14th floor, my hands still steady on my phone. The shaking stopped somewhere around Oak Park. What replaced it is something colder, cleaner. Inside my apartment, I don't turn on the lights. The city glow through the windows is enough. I drop my coat on the sofa and go straight to my laptop, settling into the chair at my dining table. The chair I bought myself, the table I assembled myself, the life I built without asking them for a single dollar. First, credit cards. I log into each account, moving through the screens with the muscle memory of someone who's done this professionally for years. Fraud detection, risk mitigation, financial forensics. I've spent 5 years analyzing other people's money disasters. Time to apply those skills to my own. American Express. Freeze. Remove Savannah as authorized user. Visa. Freeze. Remove Savannah. MasterCard. Freeze. Remove all authorized users. Each click feels like closing a door. No. Better than that. Like changing the locks. My phone starts buzzing. I silence it without looking. Let them wonder. Let them panic when the next transaction declines. Next, recurring payments. The mortgage transfer, that monthly hemorrhage of $4,200, that's been bleeding me dry for 3 years. My parents' house, their equity, their problem. I pull up the bank's bill pay section and hover over the cancel button. A memory surfaces. My father, 2 years ago, drunk on Christmas Eve. You're doing so well, Quinn. Your mother and I are so proud. We always knew you'd take care of us. Not, we're grateful. Not, thank you. Just, we knew you would. I click cancel. The system asks me to confirm. I confirm. The cable and internet bundle comes next. $179 a month so my father can watch golf and my mother can post filtered photos on Facebook, pretending she's still the woman who married a successful real estate broker, instead of a man who hasn't closed a deal since the 2008 crash. Cancel. Confirm. Done. I lean back in my chair, staring at the screen. The apartment is so quiet I can hear my own breathing. This is what peace sounds like. No demands, no guilt trips. No sister ransacking my past for Instagram content. But there's something else. Something nagging at the edge of my awareness. I pull up my credit monitoring account, the one I check obsessively every Sunday morning. Experian loads slowly, and then there it is. Red flag alert. Sitting at the top like a bomb someone left on my doorstep. New account opened. SBA loan. $45,000. Business name. Savannah Porter Entertainment. My throat closes. I read it again, my brain refusing to process what my eyes are seeing clearly. Opened 4 months ago. Under my social security number. My credit. My liability. I click through to the application details, my hands moving automatically while my mind reels. The documentation loads in pieces. Business plan, financial projections, all the bureaucratic nonsense required for a small business administration loan. And there, on the application signature page, handwriting I'd recognize anywhere. My father's, not Savannah's looping, careless scrawl. His precise block letters, the ones he uses on contracts, the ones he thinks look professional. Elias Porter, bankrupt real estate broker, forging my signature to fund his younger daughter's fantasy career. I stand up so fast the chair tips backward, clattering against the hardwood. The sound doesn't even register. I'm pacing now, my mind racing through implications, consequences, legal ramifications, wire fraud, identity theft, federal crimes, plural. If I don't report this, I'm liable. $45,000 of debt in my name for a business that doesn't exist, will never exist, can never exist because Savannah has the attention span of a goldfish and the work ethic of a trust fund baby? Which she isn't. Because we don't have a trust fund. We have me. Had me. I grab my phone and scroll through my contacts until I find Leo Reeves. We work adjacent departments, him in risk management, me in data analytics. We've collaborated on fraud cases before. He's good, thorough, professional. Most importantly, he's not family. The phone rings twice before he picks up. Quinn? It's almost midnight on Thanksgiving. I need your eyes on something. My voice sounds strange to my own ears. Flat, mechanical, fraud case, personal. A pause. Then, send me what you've got. I'll look at it first thing tomorrow. Thank you. Quinn. His voice softened slightly. You okay? Am I? I look around my apartment, at the life I've built with precision and careful planning. Everything in its place. Everything under control. Except it wasn't under control, was it? They've been dismantling me piece by piece while I smiled and paid the bills. I will be, I tell him. I'm sending the files now. After we hang up, I forward everything to him. The credit report, the loan documents, the mortgage payment history. A paper trail that tells a story I should have seen coming years ago. My phone buzzes again. Another text from Savannah. I glance at it this time. What the fuck? Fix this now. Not, I'm sorry. Not, can we talk? Just, fix this. I open her contact information and change her name. The cursor blinks in the text field. I type, Defendant number 1, save. The next morning arrives cold and bright. Black Friday, the biggest shopping day of the year. I'm drinking coffee at my dining table, still in my pajamas, when the notifications start. Transaction declined. $500, Bridal Boutique of Naperville. Transaction declined. $73, Sullivan's Bar. Transaction declined. $215, Nordstrom. Each alert brings a small, vicious satisfaction. This is what accountability looks like. This is what happens when the bank closes. My phone rings. Savannah, of course. I let it go to voicemail. Then a text. Stop it, Quinn. Now. I don't reply. Instead, I open my laptop and start building a spreadsheet. Every payment, every charge, every dollar I've given them over the past 5 years. Column A, date. Column B, amount. Column C, purpose. Column D, running total. The numbers climb higher than I expected. $145,000, give or take a few hundred for rounding errors. For what? For the privilege of being called jealous when I objected to theft? My phone buzzes one more time. Another text from the contact I've renamed. I don't even read it. I just silence the notifications and go back to my spreadsheet. Let it ring, let them panic, let them figure out what life looks like when the safety net walks away. Winter is coming, and I'm done keeping them warm. 2 weeks pass in blessed silence. The Naperville house sits dark in my rearview mirror, both literally and metaphorically. No texts, no calls. Just the cold Chicago winter settling in, and for once, I'm not the one keeping anyone warm. I'm at my desk when Leo drops a printed screenshot on my keyboard. You need to see this. The TikTok video fills the page. Savannah, wrapped in a blanket, sitting in what appears to be the dimly lit living room of the Naperville house. Her eyes are red-rimmed. The caption reads, Story time, when your rich sister tries to freeze your elderly parents. I don't move, don't breathe, just stare at the view count. 2.3 million. Keep scrolling, Leo says quietly. I do. The comments are a wall of outrage. Hundreds of strangers calling me a monster, a corporate psychopath, someone who abandoned her family over a silly argument about a dress. The narrative is clean, sharp, and completely fabricated. According to Savannah's tearful performance, I cut off the heat and internet in the middle of winter because I was jealous of her engagement. No mention of the stolen credit card. No mention of the destroyed heirloom. No mention of the $45,000 loan taken out in my name. Just me, the villain, leaving my poor elderly parents to freeze in the dark. She's good, I say. My voice sounds distant, like it's coming from someone else's mouth. I'll give her that. Quinn. Leo pulls up a chair. This isn't just bad press. Look at the shares. The video has been reposted across platforms. Facebook groups with names like Entitled Millennials Exposed and Family First Always. Someone even made a GoFundMe for my parents' heating bill. It's raised $1,200. I should feel something. Rage, maybe. Panic. But I just feel cold. The same temperature as my apartment, where the thermostat works and nobody asks me for anything. My phone buzzes. Email notification. The subject line makes my stomach drop. HR investigation required. I open it with fingers that have gone numb. Miss Porter, we have received a formal complaint regarding alleged harassment and elder abuse. Per company policy, we are required to investigate any claims that may impact our organization's reputation. Please schedule a meeting with HR at your earliest convenience. Bring any documentation that may be relevant to this matter. The email is signed by Janet Kowalski, Director of Human Resources, the woman who approved my promotion 6 months ago. The woman who nodded approvingly when I mentioned supporting my family during my performance review, my sanctuary, my career, the one thing I built that had nothing to do with them. And now they're coming for it. I forward the email to Leo without a word. He reads it, then closes his laptop with deliberate calm. Conference room, now. 10 minutes later, we're alone behind frosted glass. Leo spreads documents across the table like he's building a case, which I suppose he is. Property records, credit reports. A printed timeline of every transaction. Quinn. He waits until I look at him. Look at the timeline. I've seen the timeline. I made the timeline. No, look at this date. He taps a line highlighted in yellow. 5 years ago. The lake lot. The lake lot. The story I've heard 1,000 times, usually deployed when I hesitate before approving another expense. Your father sold his dream property to pay for your college. The least you can do is help out now. The guilt I've carried like a stone in my chest. What about it? Leo slides another document across the table. Official letterhead. Cook County Recorder of Deeds. The sale closed on August 14th. Sold for $62,000. I know. It paid my tuition. Did it? He places a third document on top. Because on August 14th, the same day, Elias Porter settled a $60,000 lien with Rivers Casino. The words blur together. I read them again, then again. $60,000. Rivers Casino. August 14th. He gambled it away. My voice comes out flat. The money never went to my tuition. You paid your own loans, Quinn. I pulled your credit history. You've been making payments for 7 years. Every month. On time. Airy. The conference room tilts. I grip the edge of the table, feeling the laminate under my palms, smooth and cold and real. The guilt was manufactured. Leo continues. They told you a story and you believed it because you wanted to believe they sacrificed something for you. But they didn't. They never did. 7 years of guilt. 7 years of justifying their demands because I owed them, because they gave up something precious for me. Except they didn't. The stone in my chest cracks. Doesn't shatter. Not yet. But fractures into sharp edges that cut on the way out. Show me everything, I say. Leo does. The gambling debts stretch back years. Small liens, paid off and reopened. Credit cards maxed at various casinos. Elias Porter, the man who sneered at menial work, apparently had no problem feeding slot machines with money that should have gone to property taxes. My phone buzzes again. Another email. Another friend of Savannah's has apparently contacted my company's public relations department. The story is spreading. We need to document this, I say. Everything. The TikTok videos, the timeline, all of it. Already done. Leo pulls up a folder on his laptop. Every video Savannah posted, downloaded and timestamped. Screenshots of every comment, especially the ones where she explicitly names your employer. And this. He clicks. Open a new document. Preliminary filing for defamation. Just needs your signature. I should feel vindicated, empowered, ready to fight. Instead, I feel the weight of 7 years lifting off my shoulders, leaving me lighter and angrier than I've ever been in my life. I need to reply to HR. I say, do it factually. No emotion, Just timeline and documentation. Leo closes his laptop. And Quinn? You don't owe them an explanation. You owe yourself the truth. Yusev. I draft the email in the conference room. Professional, clinical. Attached documents include credit card statements showing unauthorized charges, the fraudulent SBA loan application, property records proving the casino settlement, and screenshots of Savannah's TikTok videos with timestamps showing the defamatory claims. I don't mention the dress. Don't mention Thanksgiving. Just lay out the facts like I'm presenting a fraud case, because that's exactly what it is. I hit send at 4:30 in the afternoon. At 4:32, my weather app sends an alert. Polar vortex approaching Chicago area. Temperatures expected to drop below zero. Wind chill warnings in effect. I open a different app. The one connected to the Naperville house utilities. Still linked to my phone from when I was paying all the bills. Heating oil tank level. Almost empty warning says. I should feel something. Concern, maybe. The ghost of old guilt. But I just see numbers. Data. The inevitable outcome of their choices. They don't know how to order a refill. Their credit cards are maxed. And I'm not their safety net anymore. The polar vortex is coming. And I'm not going to be the one keeping them warm. 3 days later, the legal paperwork spreads across my dining table like evidence at a crime scene. Quitclaim deeds. Power of attorney revocation forms. The draft complaint for the fraud report, 23 pages of documented theft laid out in Times New Roman 12-point font. Leo helped me prepare these yesterday. Walked me through every clause, every filing requirement, every potential loophole Elias might try to exploit. My father thinks he's a businessman, but he never learned the difference between hustling and actually understanding contract law. I'm 3 pages into reviewing the property transfer documents when my phone vibrates across the table. Mom. My thumb hovers over the decline button. Old habits die hard, even when you're preparing to legally dismantle your family's entire financial structure. The text appears before I can decide. I found your grandmother's pearl necklace. It would be a shame if I had to sell it to a pawn shop to buy heating oil since you're trying to freeze us to death. I read it twice. The words don't change. She found the necklace. The one item I thought might have survived Savannah's rampage through the cedar chest. The 3-strand Mikimoto pearls my grandfather brought back from Japan in 1953. The ones my grandmother wore every Sunday to Mass. The ones I'd planned to have restrung and wear to her memorial service, back when I thought I'd have anything left of her to remember. A younger version of me would have panicked. Would have opened Venmo immediately, sent $500, maybe $1,000, whatever it took to keep that necklace out of a pawn shop case under fluorescent lighting. New Quinn sees it differently. This isn't a hostage situation. It's a summons. My mother wants me to come crawling back with my checkbook open and my boundaries dissolved. She's betting on my guilt, on the fantasy that I still believe we're a family instead of a limited liability relationship that expired the moment Elias forged my signature on federal loan documents. I type my response carefully. I'm coming over. Don't sell it yet. 3 dots appear immediately, disappear, appear again. Finally, bring your credit card. I don't reply. Instead, I gather the paperwork into a leather portfolio, the kind I use for client presentations at work, professional and intimidating. Then I grab my laptop and the small portable printer I bought specifically for this moment, FedEx office on Roosevelt Road. The parking lot is half empty, the afternoon crowd long gone. Inside, a tired-looking clerk watches me approach the counter with the expression of someone who's already counting down to closing time. I need color copies of these documents. I slide the portfolio across to him. 15 sets, printed on the heaviest cardstock you have. He flips through the pages, his eyebrows climbing higher with each one. Bank statements, property records. The SBA loan application with my forged signature circled in red ink. Screenshots of Savannah's TikTok videos, frozen on the frames where she's crying about her cruel sister, while wearing the $2,000 bracelet I bought her last Christmas. He pauses. This is a lot of financial information. It's mine. I meet his eyes steadily. I'm presenting it to the people who stole it. He doesn't ask any more questions, just starts feeding pages into the industrial copier, the machine humming in the quiet store. 20 minutes later, I'm back on the road with a box of documents that cost me $372 to print, worth every penny. The sun is setting as I pull into my parents' driveway. The house looks the same from the outside. Stately colonial, wrap-around porch, the kind of place that screams upper-middle-class stability. You'd never know the heating oil tank was running on fumes, that every credit card inside was maxed out, that the mortgage is 60 days behind because I stopped paying it. I grab the box and my laptop bag. Don't bother knocking. My key still works, though I doubt it will for much longer once they realize what's coming. The cold hits me the moment I open the door. Not brisk, not chilly, actually cold. The kind of temperature that makes your breath visible, that seeps through your clothes and settles into your bones. The thermostat on the wall reads 50 degrees. I find them in the living room. My father sits in his leather recliner wearing a wool coat over a flannel shirt, looking like a catalog model for rugged New England living, except he's in suburban Illinois and the coat is from Brooks Brothers. My mother is wrapped in her Burberry trench, perched on the edge of the sofa like she's waiting for a taxi. They're both positioned around the small space heater, the kind you buy at Target for college dorm rooms. The orange coils glow in the dimness, throwing shadows across their faces. About time you came to your senses. Elias doesn't stand, doesn't even look particularly cold, just indignant. As if the laws of thermodynamics should make an exception for him out of respect. The heat's off. I say it flatly, stating the obvious. Yes, Quinn, we're aware. Darlene's voice drips with martyrdom. We've been living like this for 3 days. 3 days, while you're comfortable in your heated apartment downtown. Did you call the oil company? With what money? Elias leans forward. You've cut us off completely. Frozen every card, canceled every payment. We can't even order groceries online. I set the box down on the coffee table. You could get jobs. The suggestion lands like a slap. My mother actually recoils. I'm 56 years old, Quinn. I'm not going to work at Walmart. Savannah's doing it. The words come out before I can stop them. I saw her there yesterday, stocking shelves in that hideous blue vest, her extensions pulled back in a ponytail, no ring on her finger. Jax didn't stick around once he realized the money was gone. Funny how that works. You came here to gloat. Elias stands now, his face reddening. To watch us suffer while you play corporate hotshot downtown? No. I pull out my phone, walk to the television. Their massive 65-inch screen, the one they bought last year with my credit card during a Super Bowl sale. I came here to show you something. I connect via AirPlay. The Apple logo appears on the screen, bright white in the cold, dim room. What are you doing? My mother's voice goes shrill. Elias, stop her. But I'm already pulling up the first document. The SBA loan application fills the screen, blown up large enough that every detail is visible. My social security number, my forged signature. The business name, Savannah Porter Entertainment. I'm showing you what happens next. I say quietly. Unless you're ready to have a very different conversation than the one you planned. My phone vibrates in my hand. A text from Marcus. You there? I'm on standby if you need me. I type back with one hand. Recording now. Because that's the other thing I learned from him. Always have a witness. Even if they're just listening through a phone line, even if they never say a word, having someone else present changes everything. My father stares at the screen. The color drains from his face slowly, like watching time-lapse photography of a sunset. Quinn. His voice sounds different now, smaller. Let's talk about this reasonably. Okay. I open the portfolio, pull out the first set of documents. Let's talk. Savannah emerges from the kitchen, still wearing the engagement ring. Still looking like she believes this ends with me handing over a check. Finally. Can we get this over with? I have dinner reservations. Sit down, I say. Not a request. My mother shifts on the couch, pulling her coat tighter. Darlene Porter, 56, enabler-in-chief. Quinn, sweetie, if you could just help us with the heating oil, we can talk about this reasonably. Reasonable. The word tastes like ash in my mouth. I tap my phone. The first image fills the screen. The SBA loan application, $45,000. My social security number. My forged signature. But the handwriting on the business plan section? That's my father's. I'd recognize those cramped letters anywhere. Savannah Porter Entertainment? I read aloud. Interesting business venture. Tell me, Dad, when did you learn to forge my signature so well? The temperature in the room drops another 10 degrees. Not the thermometer. Something else. Elias stands up, trying to reclaim authority through height. Now, hold on. That loan was for the family. For Savannah's influencer career, you benefited from this family, and it's time you gave back. Gave back. I let the words hang there. Let me show you what I gave back. Second slide. Casino debt settlement records. $60,000 paid to Rivers Casino on the exact same day they told me they sold the lake lot to fund my tuition. Public records. Dates. Account numbers. The lie. Documented in black and white. My mother makes a small sound. Not quite a gasp. More like air escaping from something deflating. The lake lot? I say, my voice steady as a surgeon's hand. The sacrifice you reminded me about every time I hesitated to pay your mortgage. The reason I felt guilty for years. I turned to face them directly. You didn't sell it for my education. You sold it to cover Dad's gambling debts. Savannah looks between our parents and the screen, confusion finally cracking through her usual smugness. What is she talking about? Shut up, Savannah. The words come out cold, clinical. I'm done protecting her from their rot. Third slide. The civil lawsuit draft. Defamation. Every TikTok video saved, time-stamped, archived, screenshots of comments, view counts, the viral spread of her lies about me cutting off elderly parents' heat in winter. Fourth slide. The police report for identity theft. Ready to file. Just missing my signature. Here's what happens now, I say. And I'm surprised by how calm I sound. How utterly devoid of emotion. You sell this house. You pay back the $45,000 loan. You pay back the $145,000 you've stolen from me over all these years. Or, I hit send on these reports to the Naperville police and the FBI. Elias tries to bluff. He's good at it. I'll give him that. Years of failed real estate deals taught him how to fake confidence. You won't ruin your own family. Besides, you're an accessory to this loan. It's in your name. I smile. Actually smile. It feels strange on my face, like muscles remembering a foreign language. Actually, Dad, under Illinois law, I have 30 days to report it to avoid liability. I pull up my voicemail, set it to speaker. The bank representative's voice fills the room, confirming the fraud flag, explaining the timeline, outlining my protection as a victim. Today is day 29. The bluff dies on his face. I watch it happen. Watch the realization creep in like frost on a window. You have one choice. I continue. Sell the house, pay me back, or I send these reports, and you both go to prison. Wire fraud, identity theft, federal crimes. Savannah too, as an accessory. My mother is crying now. Real tears, not the manipulative kind she usually deploys. Quinn, please, we're your parents. You can't do this. I can. 2 words. Simple, true. My father deflates into the couch. The arrogance drains away, leaving only a tired old man in a cold house. What do you want? I told you what I want. Sell, pay me, or face the FBI. We can't sell that fast, he says. The market right now, it could take months. I have a solution. I tap my phone again. Pull up the offer letter. There's an instant cash buyer. An LLC willing to purchase as is. Quick close. They're offering below market value, but given your situation, I'd suggest you take it. They don't ask questions. They don't have the energy left to ask questions. My mother just nods, defeated. My father signs the authorization right there on my phone, his hand shaking. The LLC is mine, of course. Formed 3 weeks ago. But they don't need to know that yet. You have 48 hours to accept the offer. I say. I'd suggest you don't waste time. I disconnect my phone from the television. The screen goes dark. I take the grandma's necklace that was on the table as well. I walk toward the door, my footsteps echoing on the hardwood. Quinn. My father's voice stops me at the threshold. We're still your family. I look back at them. 3 people who taught me that love was transactional, that family was a business arrangement, that I existed to be used. No, I say. You were my creditors, and the debt is almost paid. The cold air outside feels warmer than the house I'm leaving behind. A month after the showdown, I sit in my car outside the empty Naperville house, staring at the email on my phone, the one I've been waiting for. Subject: Lease back extension request. From Porter Property Holdings, LLC. To Elias and Darlene Porter. Dear former owners, your request for a 30-day leaseback extension has been reviewed and denied. Please note that you have 48 hours to vacate the premises per the terms of your sales agreement. Additionally, be advised that I do not rent to individuals who destroy family heirlooms. Regards, Quinn Porter. Owner, Porter Property Holdings, LLC. I read it 3 times. The parents don't know yet. They sent their request to the generic LLC email yesterday, probably assuming some faceless corporate buyer would rubber stamp their plea. They're about to find out exactly who bought their house. I forward the email and watch the sending animation complete. Done. The house looks smaller than I remember. Not the imposing colonial I grew up in, just a building. Brick and mortar and memories I no longer need. The for sale sign is gone. The lawn needs mowing. Nobody's living here anymore, but they haven't fully moved out either. Boxes visible through the front windows. The heating oil tank I let run dry has been refilled by the new owner. Me. I use my key now, to my house. Inside, the air smells stale. Dust motes float in the afternoon light streaming through the bay windows. The Wedgwood china is gone, probably sold. The chandelier remains because it was included in the sale. Everything else feels hollow, like a stage set after the actors have left. My footsteps echo on the hardwood as I climb the stairs to my old bedroom. The door is open. The room is bare except for one thing, the cedar chest. I kneel beside it, running my fingers over the carved top. The lock is still broken, pried open by Savannah's impatience. I lift the lid slowly, empty, as I expected. She took everything. The linens, the lace doilies, the carefully preserved photographs. But I brought something back. From my coat pocket, I withdraw the pearl necklace, the one my mother tried to hold hostage. The one I retrieved during that final frozen confrontation, slipping it off the dining room table while my father stared at the evidence of his fraud on the television screen. I place it gently inside the chest. It rests on the cedar wood, luminous against the dark grain. I'm not saving it for anyone, not preserving it for some future daughter or granddaughter. It's mine now, and it lives here in this empty chest in this empty house that belongs to me. I close the lid. The sound is final. 3 days later, I stop at the diner near my office. The place with the cracked vinyl booths and coffee that tastes like it was brewed during the Reagan administration. I'm meeting Lyoto go over the final paperwork, the official closing documents that transfer everything into my name. But Leo isn't here yet. Someone else is. Savannah, wearing a yellow uniform with a name tag, carrying a pot of coffee between tables. Her hair is pulled back in a simple ponytail. No extensions, no ring. Her hands look rough, the manicure long gone. She hasn't seen me yet. I could leave. Should leave, probably. But I slide into a booth instead. She approaches with her order pad, and our eyes meet. Recognition hits her like cold water. Her face goes pale, then red. What are you doing here? Ordering coffee. I keep my voice neutral. She doesn't write anything down, just stands there, the coffee pot trembling slightly in her grip. You can't be here. It's a public diner. You ruined everything. Her voice cracks. Jack's left. Mom and Dad are living in some apartment in Aurora. Do you even care? I look at her. Really look. She's 24, working an honest job for the first time in her life, and she hates me for it. Good. I'll have coffee. Black. She slams the cup down harder than necessary, splashing liquid onto the saucer. Pours with shaking hands, walks away without another word. When she brings the check, I pull out my wallet. Write something on the receipt in careful block letters. For the Dress Restoration Fund. The tip line stays empty. $0, 0 cents. I leave exact change for the coffee and stand. Savannah watches me from behind the counter, her expression caught between rage and something that might be despair. I button my coat and step outside into the January wind. It cuts through the fabric, bitter and sharp, the kind of cold that makes your eyes water. But I feel warm. For the first time in my life, I feel warm.